Welcome to SciSage, where everything is simple.
Today, we are diving into something huge. If you're just sick and tired of being, well, sick and tired, you've come to the right place. We're going to break down 7. That's right, 7 science-backed habits that can absolutely transform your sleep. And the best part? No medication required. But before we get to the how, let's talk about the why. Because, the real cost of a bad night's sleep, it's way, way higher than just feeling a little groggy the next day. So let me ask you, are you getting enough sleep? It sounds like such a simple question, doesn't it? But honestly, for a huge number of us, the answer is a big no. And that no has some seriously damaging consequences for both our bodies and our minds. Just look at this number. We're talking about a huge chunk of the population. A recent study, for example, found that nearly 1/3 of university students, that's almost 33%, are dealing with poor sleep as their everyday reality. It's just the norm for them. And here's the really shocking part. The effects are immediate. I mean, we're talking just one night of bad sleep. That's all it takes to mess with your brain's ability to focus, slow down your reaction time, and even trigger this low-grade inflammation throughout your entire body. It literally weakens your immune system from the inside out. Okay, so to really fix our sleep, we have to become a little bit of a sleep scientist ourselves. We need to get a handle on the 2 key biological processes that are running the show behind the scenes. All right, first up is a chemical called adenosine. The easiest way to think about this is like a sleep pressure gauge inside your brain. The longer you're awake, the more this stuff builds up and the gauge fills and fills, creating that feeling of sleepiness, that pressure telling your body, hey, it's time to rest. And then you've got your circadian rhythm. Now, this is the big one. It's basically your body's internal 24-hour master clock. Its main job: to keep your sleep patterns perfectly in sync with the daily cycle of light and darkness outside. So here's the magic formula, the absolute key to it all. Great sleep doesn't happen with just one or the other. It happens when both systems align perfectly. You need that sleep pressure from adenosine to be really high, and you need your circadian clock, your master timer, to be saying, yep, now is the time for bed. When those 2 things sync up, that's the sweet spot. All right, with that science in mind, let's dive into our first couple of habits. These are all about creating the perfect environment, basically turning your bedroom into the ultimate sleep sanctuary. So habit number 1, make your bedroom a cave. Seriously. Think about it. This isn't just about interior design. These are powerful signals you're sending to your brain. Using calming colors like blues or greens, swapping out harsh bulbs for warm, amber, dimmable lights. It all mimics a natural sunset. It's a primal cue to your internal clock that says, hey, the day is ending. Time to wind down. And yeah, reserving your bed for sleep and intimacy only, that reinforces the signal. Bed equals rest. Period. Next up, habit number 2, and this one is an absolute non-negotiable in our modern world. You have to unplug. That bright blue light blasting from your phone, your tablet, your laptop, it's a sleep killer. It directly messes with the production of melatonin. That's the hormone that helps you fall asleep. Plus, you're mentally revved up from scrolling or watching videos. It's a double whammy you just have to avoid for at least 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Okay, so you've got your sanctuary set up. Now let's talk about routine. The next few habits are all about mastering consistency and timing, which is where a lot of us really struggle. Habit number 3, keep a consistent sleep schedule. And I mean consistent. Going to bed and waking up around the same time every single day. Yes, even on weekends. Why? Because you are literally training your internal clock, that circadian rhythm we talked about. You're reinforcing it. Now, I know this can be tough, especially for you night owls out there. Some of you might even have what's called delayed sleep phase disorder, where your whole clock has just shifted later. But even then, consistency is the absolute key to anchoring that rhythm, wherever it may fall. All right, habit number 4 might sound totally backwards at first. Get out of bed if you can't sleep. I know, but listen, if you're lying there tossing and turning for more than, say, 20 minutes, get up. Go do something calm in another room with low light, like reading a book. Only go back to bed when you actually feel sleepy again.
This is a core technique from CBTI, that's cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, and its whole purpose is to break that horrible mental link between your bed and the frustration of being wide awake. Now we're getting to the fun stuff, because this is where it all starts to connect. You see, a good night's sleep doesn't just start at 10 p.m. Nope, it actually starts the moment you open your eyes in the morning. And that brings us to habit number 5. Get some daylight. Light, especially natural sunlight, is probably the single most powerful driver for your circadian rhythm. Getting that light exposure first thing in the morning is like hitting a giant reset button for your internal clock. It anchors your entire 24-hour sleep-wake cycle, telling your body, okay, the day has begun, let's get going. Okay, prepare for your mind to be blown a little bit, because this next habit sounds completely wrong, but the science is solid. What if I told you that you could actually use a cup of coffee to take a better nap? It's called the caffeine nap, and here's how you master it. Step 1, you drink a cup of coffee, pretty quickly. Step 2, you immediately take a 20-minute nap. Don't go longer than that. And step 3, you wake up just as that caffeine is starting to kick in. Here's the brilliant science behind it. The short nap clears out a bunch of that sleep pressure chemical, adenosine. Then the caffeine comes in and blocks the brain receptors for whatever adenosine is left. The results? You get this incredible 1-2 punch of alertness that's way more powerful than just a nap or just coffee by itself. And for our final habit, number 7, we bring it all home with a wind-down routine. You need to budget about 30 minutes before bed for calm. I'm talking soft music, some light stretching, reading a real book, anything that signals to your brain that the day is over. And one really powerful tool here is something called Yoga Nidra, or yogic sleep. It's a kind of guided meditation that puts you in this amazing state right between being awake and being asleep. And studies show it's incredible for reducing stress and anxiety.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Your environment, your timing, your daily habits. But what's the one big idea, the ultimate takeaway from all of this? Well, I think this quote about Yoga Nidra really gets to the heart of it. It talks about removing unconscious barriers so the healing power of the mind can manifest. And that's the real truth here. Improving your sleep isn't a passive thing you just wait for. It's an active skill. When you practice these habits, you're actively taking down the barriers, like blue light, stress, or an out-of-whack schedule, and you're unlocking your mind's own incredible, natural power to heal and restore itself.
So maybe we should rethink things. What if the greatest tool you have for boosting your mind, your mood, and your overall health isn't something you can buy in a bottle, but it's actually waiting for you right there in your own bed? Because by mastering these habits, you're not just getting better sleep. You are fundamentally taking back control of your own well-being.